What's up, Transformers fans? Welcome to week 11 of Moonbase 84's year-long celebration, celebrating 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots. So a couple of weeks ago, our video for that particular week was talking about the next 40 years of the Dinobots, or the future. So I thought it was time to talk about the present. So today we're going to take a look at the Earthspark Deluxe Jawbreaker. Jawbreaker, of course, being the newest Dinobot. But as always, if you're new to the channel, could you please do us a solid, hit that like button, subscribe, and all that jazz, and we would really appreciate it. Okay, let's check out Jawbreaker. Here, as you've been seeing, we have Jawbreaker in his dino mode, which is, let me not butcher it, a Pachycephalosaurus, I believe is the pronunciation, and that's basically the dinosaurs with the domed head that some scientists think they use to smash into things, which would be appropriate, I guess. As you can see, he's very orange, not just one shade of orange, multiple shades of orange with some red thrown in and some silver and some blue. We'll take a closer look. We'll bring him nice and close. There is his head sculpt. His actual head in dino mode, more so than the actual dinosaur, what we think the real life Packy look like, it gives me some more of a Japanese anime vibe, or maybe like a Chinese dragon. That's not a bad thing, but yeah, then it go totally for accuracy. Of course, this style isn't like Beast Wars design. It is a robotic dinosaur, but I do think it looks cool, and I love his eyes. Oh, I thought his eyes were purple. See, I'm blind. They are purple. I thought they were blue. And then you get this bluish, silverish color in the face here, and again the different shades of yellowish orange, and then a deeper orange throughout, some gold here, and then that bluish silver for the tail, and going back to the orange. So yeah, really cool. He has his little accessories mounted here. You get a darkish grayish brown, or yeah, not grayish, but brownish for his feet. So real interesting color scheme. You got his Terran symbol right there, nicely tampoed on. Some decent robotic sculpt. Of course, this is an Earthspark Deluxe, which is it's weird because warrior classes thought of as budget deluxe, but in a lot of ways the deluxes in Earthspark are budget deluxes as well. One thing I do not like is, look at the huge holes. Now, I always say, gaps don't bother me often and as much as some people, but when they're atrocious like this, they do bother me. And of course, you have his robot fist hanging out in the back of his, I don't know, knee joint, or not even a knee joint, but you know what I mean. His dog-like leg. So that's pretty bad, but the worst is that gap. Oh, that's terrible. He does have an articulated mouth. Oh, and his head doesn't stay pegged very well. And his little hands, his arms rotate and swivel out around a little ball. You can break transformation and swivel his leg, but if you, well, see, it just pops out. So if you did that, might as well show it goes all over. And then you got his actual knee, which is really tight. That can go here, swivel, and then his foot articulates. And because of that gap, in transformation, you can play with that to get him posed up a little bit. So yeah, from the side and things, not bad, as I try to peg this back in, like so. Oh, and that's another thing. We're gonna just mention everything here. His tail pops out very easily. So I will find it and we will continue the video. So sorry about that. I am not editing it out because that just shows, that's another demonstration of, kind of the overview or review of the figure. His tail plugs in the back here, and it does pop out rather easily. And sometimes it's a pain to get back in there. Or at least on my copy, it pops out easily. I can't even get it back in. There we go. But yeah, from the side, he looks pretty decent. It's just that, oh, see, he breaks transformation too easy, in my opinion. But he's got some, not so great things with the gappage and stuff going on. And here's the Deluxe Jawbreaker. compared to his warrior class. As you can see, the warrior class is bare bones when it comes to different plastics, or just, you know, plastic colors, paint, just overall colors used. But the one thing I will say is, in his Dino mode, he's much more solid. You don't get as many, you don't get that really bad gap. So that's, you know, a plus for the warrior. And I think I did go on to say, you know, the warrior class Jawbreaker I thought was really fun to mess with. But compared to just the presentation of the Deluxe, he looks really cheap now. So I'm going to transform the Deluxe off camera, and we will take a closer look at his robot mode. So here's Jawbreaker transformed up into robot mode, looking very much like his on-screen self, which is a good thing. And I mentioned that too because his proportions are kind of wacky compared to other traditional bots that we see. Very squat, but long-armed, stumpy legs, but that's his design. And we will take a closer look. If the glare, there's some more, like the purple eyes from the Dino head transfer to his robot head. And he's got that little smile on his face, which is Jawbreaker. He's not like a traditional, he doesn't have the characterization of a traditional Dinobot in a lot of ways. That's not a bad thing, and it fits with the show. My main issue with the Terrans is it's great to get new characters, but they were overshadowed by the kids, especially when the kids decided to become Power Rangers. Especially towards the end of the, you know, the abrupt closing, you know, finishing of the series. It was more kids, and they definitely took the center stage over the new characters, which were the Terrans, which is a shame because we don't often get a lot of new characters lately in Transformers. But anyway, that's a video for another day. But again, you see that nice crisp and clean Terran symbol, and of course the long lanky arms, and he still retains, you know, the colors, the different shades of orange. His feet are on his side, and of course the fist, and that's why there was that big gap. I mean, it could have been executed better, but that's why, so it could fill up the forearm in robot mode. So the gap is gone in robot mode, and you get that bluish, some more of that bluish silver for his legs. And it's got like the Grimlock head going on, where it folds back to fill a gap, which is nice in his back. Some hollowness here. Articulation, again, it's a Deluxe, but it's a cheaper Deluxe, so he's a little limited in articulation. His head does swivel, his arm goes out about that far, rotates at the forearm, really tight elbow that goes to about 90, no wrist, no waist, again, as I hit the camera. Again, a little limited compared to what we're used to in some ways. His leg kicks, it can't go out much because his body crashes into the top of his belly, but it kicks again like that, past 90 knee. He does have pivot at the ankle, but no forward and back. So yeah, he is missing some articulation points. Oh, and he does have a little you know, pivot on his head, so that's cool. That gets a little personality out. And then for accessories, his tail that comes off so easy in Dino mode can be used like as like a, I don't know, I guess a whip type weapon. And then his little blasters that were on his legs in Dino mode, you can plug in here for a blaster here, and I guess you could plug one in back to here, maybe put it up like that. And now Jawbreaker is ready for battle. And once again, I brought out the warrior class in robot mode this time so we can see a comparison. As you can see, I forgot to mention it, well, I did touch on it a little, but the comparisons in the colors are vastly different. I do like the deeper oranges on the Deluxe. What's interesting though to me is that in Dino mode, the Deluxe is much bigger than the warrior class, but in robot mode, the warrior class is only a little bit shorter. And as I was posing him up to get a final shot, I forgot, and I didn't even notice. This is a shame too with articulation. He doesn't have like a swivel at the thigh or at the knee or anything, just a little swivel on the ball, which stinks, especially because he doesn't have waist. So that is my look at the Transformers Earthspark Deluxe Class Jawbreaker, as I push that back down. And week 11 of Moonbase 84's celebration of 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots is in the bag. Overall thoughts: this Jawbreaker he has problems. I like him more than I should, though. I just like the smile, his smiley face. It makes it hard for me to hate him. He does look cool. Like, overall, he looks cool. Just deficiencies in articulation is a real bummer. And the Dino mode with those huge gaps, that is a real bummer. So, a lot of times I'll say that, a lot of times I say that, a figure is better than it deserves to be. In this case, this figure deserved to be better. And I like him despite those flaws, but I look at him and I see disappointment. Hopefully down the road we will get another run of Terrans, maybe in a different aesthetic. I mean, they don't have to look like their Earthspark counterparts, but I would like Jawbreaker in some form to stay with us in the Dinobot line. With that being said, comment to let me know what you think of Jawbreaker, and as always, thanks for docking.